And Jesus said, I have come that you may have life and have it to the full. John chapter 10, verse 10. As a Catholic priest, I don't know a lot of scriptures by heart, but I do know that one. And there's a reason, and I'd like to tell you that story. I had a strong sense, even as a young man, that the Lord was calling me to be a priest. But there was a problem. I was afraid of the dark. It started when I was just a young kid. I used to have these terrible nightmares, and I would wake up in the middle of the night screaming. I mean, they were really scary nightmares. I can still remember them to this day. Me going down in some dungeon, being pursued by ghosts and demons that were trying to get me. Well, as a Jesuit, the hallmark of our spirituality are the spiritual exercises of St. Ignatius Loyola. Here's the idea. St. Ignatius said that just as we need physical exercise to stay in shape, so we need spiritual exercises to get our hearts in shape. Well, as a young man, a Jesuit novice, I'm making the spiritual exercises, and we reach the point where we're praying about Jesus saying, I am the good shepherd, and I have come that you may have life and have it to the full. So there was one night in the middle of the retreat, right after I had been praying over that text, I have come that you may have life and have it to the full, where we retired for the evening, and it was a dark and stormy night. You know, it was like out of a Cecil B. DeMille movie. The thunder was rolling and the lightning was flashing. So there I am, and this is the absolute scariest night, and I'm shivering there in my bed while this rainstorm is coming down. And I hear this word echoing in my heart. I have come that you may have life and have it to the full. Well, somehow I managed to fall asleep, but about 2 o'clock in the morning, there was this huge thunderclap, and I woke up, and I thought everybody would wake up, but I was the only one that was awakened by it. And a thought came into my head. Go down to the Jesuit graveyard to pray. And I tried to go back to sleep, but the thought kept coming back. I want you to go out in the middle of the night into the Jesuit graveyard and pray. So I said, all right, Lord, I'm going to trust that this is from you. And I'm praying as hard and as intensely as I have ever prayed in my entire life. I have come that you may have life and have it to the full. There was a small graveyard next to the novitiate building. There were, at that point, maybe 60 graves there. And I made my way out of the building, up the hill, to that, past the tombstones, and my knees are shaking. And I should mention at that point that my second greatest fear was cemeteries. I hated to go in cemeteries because I was just terribly afraid of ghosts and whatever would come out in the middle of the night. So my two greatest fears, the dark and cemeteries, the Lord, I believed, was inviting me to confront at that moment. So I made my way past the gravestones, and there at the top of the hill, there was a tableau, and on that tableau was a crucifix. And on either side of that crucifix was the Apostle John, the beloved disciple, and Jesus' mother, Mary. And they were praying next to Jesus on the cross. And so I knelt down, I closed my eyes, and I prayed over and over and over again, Jesus, come into my heart. Jesus, heal me of this fear. I want to believe that you have come that I may have life and have it to the full. But in the course of that prayer, and I really have no idea how long I was kneeling there in the night in the middle of the rain, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, an hour. I have no idea of how much time had passed. But gradually, my beating heart started to slow down. My rapid respiration started to slow. And I actually started to smile. And I started to laugh, and I started to sing, and I raised my eyes, and I lifted, and I looked up to the heavens, and the thunder was still rolling, and the lightning was still flashing, but I was laughing because I knew at that moment the Lord had healed me. In fact, so profound was the healing that night that I actually have a difficult time sleeping with the lights on now. I like it to be pitch black. And one of my favorite places to pray now are in cemeteries. After I finished my prayer, and there was just a sense that it had come to completion, I turned around, I marked myself with the sign of the cross, and I made my way back down the hill into the novitiate building, sobbing. It was about 4 o'clock in the morning, and I went back to sleep and slept soundly until the bell woke us up the next morning. I've shared with you my story, and I call that a stepping stone. I invite you now to reflect on your own life experiences. What are the seminal experiences that you've had, those basic life experiences where you say, I know the Lord is real. He touched me at that moment. Remember those, relish them, and celebrate them. Amen. Amen.